Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
From a beautiful city of Abuja, it is my pleasure to say welcome to you all, those of you following us on Leadership TV. This is the energy focus of Money Radio, and you are on to the program that is called, yes, that's Money Radio. Welcome, all of you. Today we are discussing power. Today is Energy Day. We are discussing power, and the topic we're discussing is as NERC plans another electricity tariff increase. Another electricity tariff increase NERC is planning. Many people out there, many of us will feel a kind of anger within that NERC is planning another tariff increase, considering the fact that people are not enjoying electricity. It's like less electricity, more payment for power. Is that fair? What are the issues? In the studio to discuss that with me is our in-house analyst, Mr. Anthony Uko. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, with Mr. in the studio, I can assure you, you are in good company. She's the energy guru that we have, that leadership has to offer. Yes, that's inside. And I'm your host, Case Hammond. So let's discuss this issue. NERC is planning another tariff review. And when we talk about tariff review, because in the introduction I mentioned 2 or 3 occasions tariff increase. Because usually when we talk about tariff review, there is hardly ever any downward tariff review. It's always upward tariff review. That's the word I carefully chose when I said tariff increase, because it's going to be increase.
Well, I would like to shock you
Okay.
that the last review that was done by NERC, they actually had downward reviews.
In the electricity
Yes.
we pay for?
Yes.
How come I didn't feel it?
No, it's for different discos. So Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, where you belong to, did
Yes.
not have a downward
Review. It was an
But
upward
yeah,
review.
it was an upward. But there were some other distribution companies that actually recorded uh, downward tariff reviews.
That is good to hear.
So
I like this shock. It's a pleasant shock.
Yes. So when you mentioned tariff increase,
Uh-huh.
I was just waiting to have the floor so that I'll put that into perspective that what we're expecting is a tariff review. And like the NERC has emphasized, it can be either upward or downward. But be that as it may, I would, in fact, that was the first time I heard of a downward review. We've always had upward reviews.
And this one we are talking about, I sincerely don't expect a downward review.
Well, it's for us to wait and see. Howbeit, the process has started, and the NERC, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, has already emphasized that under the MITO, the multi-year tariff order,
Yes.
that is being operated under the in the electricity value chain,
Yes.
that tariff reviews are part and parcel of the MITO.
Exactly.
Yes, and it also made clearly stated that every year we are to expect 2 tariff reviews, which are the normal reviews, and this happens in January. Then the next one happens in July. So already the process is on for the next tariff reviews. But while this is in the process, we want to take a look at the power situation currently. Someone said something, he meant it as a joke, but it had significant, it was very meaningful.
Okay.
He said in Nigeria, you buy fuel to, you fuel your generators
Yes.
to run your business, and you use the profit to pay for electricity.
Ah, Nigerians are so creative.
So you actually take money from your pockets, buy fuel, put in the generators to run your businesses. Then after you've made profit, the profit that you're supposed to maybe channel into other things, maybe like expanding your business, you now pack it
and take it to NEPA.
and take it to the distribution companies
Yes.
to pay for your electricity.
I noticed that you are careful.
You did not.
I noticed you are careful
enjoy.
not to use that word NEPA. That is the common word.
Of course, NEPA is long defunct. So,
yes, it's long before.
So we must put that into perspective.
NEPA is a generic name. All right.
So, what is the current tariff that we have right now? From the earlier review, earlier in the year, we had mainly for 6 distribution companies, NERC had approved an increase in tariff, and we had people who were on different bands, like those who were paying 56 naira
per unit.
Per unit.
Yeah.
Or kilowatt hour.
Yeah, kilowatt hour, that's what it is.
Yes, increasing to 60. And then we had others coming up from 56, from 50 to around 54, and then some to 50 to 55 and 56. So, and we also, I also want to put in perspective that electricity consumption now, consumers pay for electricity, they are grouped into bands.
Yeah.
We have from band A to E, depending on the number of hours of electricity that the consumers enjoy. And we have the band A, which should have up to 20 hours of electricity supply and above.
And I can proudly say I am a band A customer.
Please, you are in the infinitesimal majority. So please, let those of us, majority carries this vote. Majority carries this vote. So let's talk about every other person. And then you have the band B that should have up to 16 hours of electricity, and then the band C, 12 hours, the band D, 8 hours, and then the band E, we should have up to 4 hours. But I will tell you categorically that currently, where I reside, though I pay a band A tariff,
yes,
I don't think I don't enjoy power up to, let me say, band E.
That means you don't even get up to 4 hours.
I don't get up to 4 hours in a day.
That means you are just using.
Yet I am paying a band A tariff, and I know that if we were to check around, there are so many people, so many electricity consumers who are paying so much for tariff, so much in tariff for electricity that they don't consume. Yeah. And so that begins to get a lot of people worked up the moment you hear that another tariff review is coming on. So that is
it's annoying.
picture.
It's annoying. It's annoying, really. You know, for people who are in band E, the so-called band E, it's like you enjoy NEPA light only to iron your clothes, not even to watch television,
If you even
just
had
to
it
iron your
to
clothes. And they may bring it at a time that
at
you
a
may be
time that
sleeping.
you're sleeping or you're
Yes.
not at home,
So,
so literally you end up not having um
electricity
enjoying
at all.
power at all.
In
For the
that case,
past, in my area and in so many other areas that I've had to interact with some people. In fact, there's a platform we belong to as power correspondents, and every now and then we come up to say what is happening in our respective areas.
yeah,
There's been so much complaints in my own area. I've not had up to up to 5 hours power supply in the last 2 weeks.
that's terrible.
In the last 2 weeks, at a stretch consecutively, I've not, for several days now. In fact, yesterday I just had to bring out everything in my freezer and dispose of the ones that had gone bad, and then it was another that we're not making anything fresh.
And
So, and I've had several of that kind of reports, and I know that if we were to take a wider um, like comments from consumers, the majority would be
you
that
share that
we are not,
sentiment.
yes,
Uh,
we're not
uh,
enjoying power that is
and
commensurate.
you just made a comment here a few moments ago that you pay as a band A customer.
Yes.
That is cheating. And I advise you, in such a case, I advise you write to the NERC and report that you are actually being cheated. Yes, NERC may come in.
Yes, we are still getting to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Albeit, just before we go on the break, on the short break, I want to mention that with such a situation where you will receive power just about 5 hours a day, and they may bring it at a time you have no use for the power, even not even to charge your phone. Then such people who suffer from the inefficiency of NEPA, such people may just choose to be connected to the grid or connected to NEPA, just so that the neighbors won't gossip you to say, "Hey, that man doesn't pay NEPA bill." So that you don't become an object of gossip that this man doesn't have money to pay NEPA bill. Apart from that, there is no other use for NEPA light. That being the case. Well, let's take a short break. We'll come back, and when we come back, we want to discuss more on the way forward. What Nigerians really expect from NEPA. This issue is like it will sound like a broken bell anyway, because it's something we discuss every
Every
week,
time,
every
every
time.
time.
And there seems to be no way forward. Let's take a short break. Calm your mind down. We'll be back and we'll discuss more. You can write your comments and we'll surely read them. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on to Money Radio. This is the energy segment of the program on Leadership TV. Still in the studio to discuss the issue we are discussing today is Mr. Anthony Uko, our in-house analyst, and I'm your host, Case Hammond. So we're talking about new, as NERC prepares, or as NERC is working on a new tariff review. And, they are planning it or they are working on it, whatever is the situation. There's a new tariff review in the offing. And we're discussing about how people are not getting value for their money. And NEPA has always been a culprit. Although there are a few persons who enjoy more than the others, but NEPA has always been the culprit when it comes to this electricity issue. NEPA seems to be a hector. Yes, hectoring people, intimidating people. They are the only source of power apart from our generators we power as to make up for the electricity we need. They are the only source of power, the national grid. And when I said NEPA, I'm speaking in generic terms. Please forgive me. Of course, I don't want to begin calling the different distribution companies here. So let's make it, because they are a whole. We call them NEPA, and all Nigerians, I believe, understand when we say NEPA. So they seem to be the only beneficiaries. They can decide what you pay for and what they supply to you. They seem to be not answerable to any authority. That seems to be the case. And that being the case, Nigerians are actually being cheated. Nigerians are the victim here. And I want to look at a few issues. The distribution companies, let's be fair to them. The problem is not all theirs. We can share the problem, and the federal government actually, or the monetary authorities, actually have a share in this blame. What do I mean? We have a situation where the distribution companies have to import some of the implements. Now, I'm talking about tools. I'm not just tools, but spare parts also. That they have to import all of these over. In fact, let's look at from 2015. Around 2015, when this administration came, the exchange rate was around 200 naira to a dollar, just around there. Today, it is 600 naira to a dollar. That is 200% increase. And we can't expect NEPA to still be charging us the tariff they charged us at that time, because it's more costly. It's costlier now to buy tools and to buy spare parts. That is one thing. The problem there is it is the consumers that are suffering it. NEPA is not going to suffer it because they are determining the NERC anyway. But whatever the NERC dictates, or whatever their review is, they are dictated to by the reality of what NEPA tells them it is. And they are saying it is difficult to get these tools and spare parts. They will not lose. Just like you go to a market to buy some food, and maybe you are pricing a pint cup or a mudu of beans, and the person selling the beans tells you it is 500 naira for this mudu of beans, and you try to haggle the price. You say, no, I'll pay you 400, 300, I'll pay you this. And the seller tells you the last price is 450. That seller knows the price. The seller knows how much he or she bought the beans, knows how much he or she is profiting. So when this person tells you the last price is 450, it cannot be 450 that the person bought that model of base. It has
He's
to
telling
be
you the price, the
he,
last
but
price
he
or
can
she
sell it.
wants to sell
Yes,
it
and he will not sell at a loss.
at a
It will
loss.
always be with profit. The same way with these NEPA people. They will claim that they are losing, that they are doing, you know, the federal government, they cannot operate at a loss. These people will complain to you that, look, we are losing, we are not making profit. Meanwhile, whenever they are sanctioned or whenever their license is withdrawn, you go and see them lobbying to get their license back to continue in business. It happened last time in Ibadan. You remember? Yes, Ibadan. That is
Distribution.
distribution company had to. They went back to the authorities to lobby. So they are not operating at a loss. It is you and I that are um, actually consuming
Well,
at a loss.
yes. So yeah, like you rightly said, the consumers are the one um, bearing the brunt for the inefficiencies
Yes.
that we have seen in the electricity value chain. So still on the review, the review process that is starting, the Electricity Regulatory Authority (NERC) is asking you, the customers, to send in your comments.
Is that so?
Is asking you to send in your comments. So what that means is that
You have a say.
power is in your hands as consumers. But you know, one thing we've seen in the past is that because this not they've always called for comments like this, but maybe the responses they don't get enough responses
Yeah.
um, to be able to factor that into their the reviews they are making.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they may end up relying much on the information that is provided by
By
the distribution companies who are applying to review their tariff. And when it is all done, it is passed on to the consumers who now begin to complain. So how do you know? The NEC says that if if you are on a on certain band of electricity, for instance, I'm on band A in my residence, and for 2 months you're not getting the commensurate
band
number,
A.
band A hours
Yes.
of supply for 2 months. So what that means, you add the total number of hours you got. Say we are in May now. At the end of May, you add it up, and then what you consumed in April, you add both of them together,
Mhm.
and you divide it by the number of days. You find an average,
Yes.
and you're not getting up to the commensurate numbers that has been prescribed for that band. You should be downgraded to a lower band.
Yes. But
So, but we hardly see this happening.
do you write?
That is exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
That a lot of consumers don't send in, they don't complain. They don't send in their complaints. So what this means is that consumers have to stand up now and not just complain on social media and
Yes.
all that. You have to channel your complaints where the authorities, the regulatory authority, will be able to see it. And for this particular one, for this review, the commission is saying that you send um, your comments to the to the chairman, Engineer Sanusi Garba.
Okay.
So you would see the place that is calling for comments, like contact us.
Okay.
So let everyone go online, send in your comments in respect to this review. Let each area send in your review. What are your experiences, your power experiences? Do you think you should remain on that band, or you should be downgraded, or maybe even upgraded? But I can assure you that for many people, a downgrade,
Yeah, that's the direction.
yes, is the direction that it will go. But the important thing is that send in your comments as the review process is ongoing.
Well done. Well said. Thank you. That's the way we want to draw the curtain on today's program. It has been energy focused on Money Radio, and this is Leadership TV. Lisa, thanks again for being here with us.
It's a pleasure.
I want to say thank you to our producers also, but we say thank you most to those of you who follow us loyally on this program. I've been your host, Keith Hammond. Until tomorrow, when we meet for another edition, which will be the transportation segment of the program. From here in Abuja, this studio, Leadership TV, we say have a great day. God bless you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.